A few more functions that I forgot to talk about is lower, upper, and substring. I'm using this seller table, right? So you have seller ID, seller address, seller state, zip code, country, etc. So now what will I do is I want to find out the length of seller address. So how do you do that? I'll use something called a length function, and that's it. So it will give me the length of all the rows that it has. So 16, 18, etc., etc. This is the length. So I can use length function. One more function that I wanted to show you is changing everything to lowercase. So you can use the lower function. So now as you can see, the capital W has been changed to small w, the capital T has been changed to small t, etc. I can do the same with upper also. I can mention upper here, which will change everything to uppercase. And then finally, there's something called substring, and it finds out a subset of the entire string. So now if I mention 1 comma 4, so what I'm saying is start from 1 and end at 4. So here let's say 1 2 3 4. That's what substring is. And let's say I mention 1 comma 10 from seller address, it will select the value till 10th string. So these are some of the not so very useful function but good to know kind of functions that you should actually practice. The final operation in CRUD is update delete. And I'm going to talk about update delete and truncate also, because truncate is also used to destroy columns or destroy records or delete records from a particular table. There's a difference between delete and truncate. Again, this is something that a database administrator should know. But if you have to delete, let's say, a subset of rows, then you use delete command. If you have to delete all the rows from a particular table, then you can use truncate command. You can use delete command for that also, but truncate would be faster. So the first one is update, and this is the syntax. So you update followed by the table name, and then we mention the set command, and we can also mention where clause. So we can update all the rows and we can update subset of rows also. Similarly, we can update all the columns and we can update subset of columns. If we plan to update all the columns of a table, then we'll have to mention all the columns after set. There's nothing called update star or set star. So we'll have to mention each and every column in the update statement after the set keyword. Let's say if we use something like this, then all the rows of the particular table would be updated, and the column that would be updated is product ID with this particular value. And as I mentioned earlier, we can update a subset of columns using where condition, just like select. We can use the and condition, we can use the or condition, and keyword and the or keyword, etc. So after where condition, it is similar to that of select statement. Then we have delete statement. If we run, let's say, delete from customers, all the rows from that table would be deleted. We can delete a subset of rows also using a where clause after the delete statement. And this where clause is similar to the where clause that we mentioned in select statement. And if you want to delete all the rows much faster, then we can use truncate table. So what will I do now is I will actually add a column in the orders table. I will add a product ID column first, or let's say product name whose data type is text. So it has been added, and if I see here, the product name has been added. Now if I do a select star and limit 20, of course all of them would be having null value. So product name does not have any value as such. First thing that I want to do is I want to update all the rows in orders table where I want to make the value of product name as, let's say, default. There's no where condition. Now if I execute this and now if I run select star, all the rows would have default value. So if you, as you can see, all the rows have default value. In using this single update statement, I have updated all the rows of orders table. Now what I want to do is that, let's say I want to do conditional update. Again, it's the same statement, and let's say I want to mention electronics. It's a conditional update, meaning that I want to update a subset of rows. So wherever the payment method is, let's say Visa, update those with product name value electronics. So now if I do a select star, some of them, if you see Visa, the product name would be electronics. Now let me just do a select where product name is Visa and Chase. So as you can see, we have electronics in Visa, and if you go to Chase, it is still default. So this is a conditional update, and this is how we can modify data. We can update data. And not only that, let's say I want to update something else. Let's say I want to update multiple columns. So what I can do, set product name equal to electronics, and let's say I change the discount to 10% where payment method is Visa. So it has been updated. So what I have done, I have updated two columns here, and if I select Visa, as you can see, the discount has been updated for all the rows to 10%, which is not the case for Chase. So if, as you can see, this discount is still dissimilar, right? So this is how you update all the rows in a table, and you can update subset of rows in a table also. And typically you'd be updating subset of columns only, because you'd not update all the columns in an update statement. So what I had done, I had updated a single column, product name, where the payment method is Visa, and then I updated again two columns, the product name and the discount, where the payment method is Visa. So this is how we update different columns. Now what will I do is, I'll show you delete statement wherein we can do conditional delete. So let's say I select star from order details. I want to delete all the rows where the order date or order year is 2025. So let's do that. This is a conditional delete. So what is happening is that I'm deleting only subset of rows. Delete from order details, and after that I'll have to mention the condition so that only subset of rows are deleted. Now we have order date here, and I want to delete all the orders that were placed in 2025. So I'll be extracting year from order date. When extract year from order date equal to 2025, delete those rows. So 54 rows have been deleted. Now if I do a select star, I'll not find a single order whose order date is 2025. All are 2024. So this is how we can delete a subset of rows. And of course, you can mention and keyword or keyword, combination of and or also, if you want to delete a subset of rows. So as I said, after the where statement, it is similar to the select statement. If I have to delete all the rows, I can just type delete from, let's say, order details 2. So the execution was pretty fast, so it deleted 100 rows. But if you have millions of rows, you can actually use truncate command, wherein will truncate the table order details 3, and all the tables have been truncated. Now you might not see the difference here. If the number of rows are very high, let's say millions of rows, then the truncate would be much faster than delete. So if you want to delete an entire all the rows from a particular table, you can use truncate instead of delete. But it's not that you should always use truncate. If you have a database administrator, please consult your database administrator before using truncate statement. So this concludes the CRUD section. So before concluding, let me summarize what we have talked about so far. The first one was insert. So we can use insert to actually insert values to one or more tables. Now typically we do not use insert, we use something called CTAS, or insert into then select. If we use insert, we use it in programming languages like Python, Java, etc. Then we talked about multiple select statements, like how to select a subset of column, how to select a subset of rows using where condition. And in where condition, I had shown you and operator or operator, combination of and or both, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to operator, not equal to operator, etc. We can use all these. Along with this, we can also use mathematical operations and functions like addition, subtraction, division, absolute value, square root value, etc. Then if you have to use some conditional logic, we can use something called case, and we can use coalesce function to override a null output. So if the output is null, then we can use coalesce to show something else instead of null. And then I had showed you multiple date functions also, like current time, current timestamp, plus interval, minus interval, and then extract. So using extract, you can extract a day of the week, you can extract a day of the year, you can extract the year, month, etc. Then we had talked about some trivial functions like concat, length, upper, lower, etc. And along with that, we talked about a very important function called cast, which is used to change the data type. All these functions that I have talked about work on the output data. It does not change anything in the input data. So the table data is not changed. Whenever you run this function, the database engine would select the rows from the table and the function should be applied on the output result set. The original data is never touched or never modified. I have also shown you create statement, create table as statement, which is also known as CTAS. And then I had shown you insert into select statement also. And these are very, very important to, let's say, create large tables, etc. And then finally, I talked about update, which is used to mutate data in a particular table or modify data in a particular table. Same is the case with delete. And in both the cases, we can update all the rows of a particular column, or you can delete all the rows, or we can delete a subset of rows. And using truncate, we can delete all the rows in a much faster way. But you should always ask your database administrator whether you should use truncate command or not. So that's all about CRUD operations. Now what will I do? I will show you some advanced SQL statements which are used in data analytics and business analytics.